Chidanandji, please you can start speaking on the topic.
All through our life, we are being driven by two forces. One is desire, and the second is fear. Fear is common to all life forms. Animals, birds, aquatic creatures, even plants have fear. We human beings have fear of many kinds. There is conscious fear of which we can be aware quite easily, though we may not have clarity about it and we don't know what to do about it. But then there is the second kind in that context, the unconscious fear. A whole lot of fears arise in certain settings. Otherwise, they remain hidden. We are going to discuss this evening the fear not connected to the known, but connected to the unknown. Or rather, other way around, sorry. Not connected to the unknown, but connected to the known. No wonder there is a book, and like most of Krishnaji's books, this one also is a compilation of, I guess, transcriptions of his talks from the audio recordings. They were transcribed and then put together as a book, which is available on a subsidized version, and it has reached a whole lot of hands. Millions and millions of houses, libraries have that book I am referring to. Freedom from the known. Sometimes we imagine that we are afraid of something unknown. On scratching the surface, we are never afraid of the unknown, really. Even when it seems on the surface that we are unknown, we are afraid of the unknown, actually we are afraid of losing the known. And sometimes we raise our hands up, say, we don't know what will happen tomorrow, and express certain fear, certain anxiety. Actually, we are afraid of that tomorrow denying to us what we are enjoying today. Therefore, the topic we are discussing this evening is fear of the known coming to an end. At first sight, some people may get a bit confused. What is all this about? Fear of the known coming to an end. It looks like some protracted way of saying. Why not we put it in some straight terms? Actually, it is pretty much straight only. Putting it this way, fear of the known coming to an end, it does better justice. It says what is to be said in plain terms. Not only about things, our house, our let's say things we possess, air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, iPhones, and a whole lot of software that we possess these days. Sometimes the physical electronic instrument may not be damaged, but the software in it, a lot of data in it is damaged. The cyber crimes these days are on an increase on one hand and are taking newer forms on the other. Even intelligent young people who are quite familiar with all the smart gadgets get deceived. A young lady just 2 weeks ago was at Bangalore International Airport, and she had gone there a few hours before the departure of her plane. She thought she would use the special lounge for which some payment is to be made. She said, "Oh, I'll enjoy my life rather than sitting outside where there is so much noise. I'll go into that special lounge, which is more comfortable. Some special services are available over there, etc." She goes and she has an iPhone, an expensive iPhone, and she is asked, "Okay, but you have to make a payment through your credit card." And she says, "I don't have the credit card." She says, "Okay, show your phone. We will show you a way how to pay in another method, etc." Somehow they ask her to share her mobile screen with their mobile screen. And she was a bit tired, maybe traveling 2 hours from home to the airport and then some more time, bit tired. Young, educated, smart woman. When you see the video, you will not suspect that such a smart girl also could be deceived. What about us folks who are of a older generation? But since she shared her screen, the other fellow was able to get into automatic sharing, So, and after another some number of days, she came to know that that day some 87,000 rupees was withdrawn from her bank account because something happened and they were able to get into her mobile. So, did she lose her physical iPhone? Not at all. The physical iPhone was very much with her, but somebody was, as they call it, able to hack her data, hack her information, and get access to her bank account even for a short while. All right. All that comes under the known. It's one thing to have 20 lakhs of rupees in your bank account. But suppose you do not know at all that you have all that money, your life experience is different. When you know I have 20 lakhs of rupees and I can spend it in some way, I can buy something, I can go on probably an all India tour, if not some foreign tour. So you get then attached, not just to physical things, as I said, to software, to your knowledge, to the image that you have in the society, how you are talked about, and then a very vital area, a very vital domain of this known is relationships. Even relationships in your close circle, not in the society at large, not countrywide or worldwide. just in a small circle of 10 or 15, 25 or 30 people with whom you have periodically some interactions. And in that circle of 25 or 30 people, suppose in your understanding, there are some who regard you, who respect you, who love you. In your imagination, they are ready to help you. Whether they actually will help you at a time of need, God knows. But you at least think, oh, she will never leave me. He will never walk away from me. Even if the whole world ditches me, these two people will be with me, etc. You think. And then life takes a turn and you see the possibility of either losing those one or two, three or four people in that relationship. They may die, they are going away somewhere, or they are just around you, but they now have lost respect for you. An unenviable condition. They meet you more often than before, but you now know that they do not respect you anymore. They do not love you anymore. They do not care for you anymore. The fear of such a thing happening can really unnerve us. So the fear of the known coming to an end is a terrible thing that the self is afraid of. The known coming to an end. In simpler language, and though it is simpler, many times it is not much understood, the word is attachment. In fact, traditional philosophers simply say, fear arises from attachment, full stop. Nothing more to think about it. Let's go to another topic. They are in a hurry. Academicians, professors, speakers who speak, who give 10 lectures a week, who just move from platform to platform, etc. They are in a hurry. They take a topic, they analyze, they synthesize, they dissect, they quote, they borrow from here and there. As the word goes, they bamboozle their audiences. Once in a while they fail, they put their audiences to sleep. Then they continue to speak with their face somewhere else. They don't want to see the audience going to sleep. They continue, or they look at the blackboard and continue. Look at the screen, projector screen. Forget them. I should not have wasted 2 minutes on them. To say, ah, fear arises from attachment. You understood? You understood? No? Let's go ahead. That is very shallow behavior. Have we really understood fear at all? Have we really understood attachment at all? What under the sun is attachment? You to use a word and walk away is not fair. What is attachment? The known having psychologically a grip over us. The known having a grip over us. We find ourselves unable to have an open mind. We cling to the known. Once I saw a child about 11 years old already. The child was brought to Bangalore by his parents and admitted to a wonderful school, charitable school. And when the child joins that school, stay, food, clothes, medical care, and education are all supplied free to that child. I myself have stayed at that center many times and I'm in touch. I even now go to Bangalore periodically. I stay at that place, a 10-acre campus with all facilities. The child was brought, and the parents were thinking of themselves as very fortunate that our child, the parents are extremely poor. Our child's future is made now. Our child spends 6 years in this ashram where everything is free and the atmosphere is so noble, sattvic, and our child, this child will rise in life. By chance, I happened to be there at that ashram, Suvarnamukhi ashram in Bengaluru. So many children had joined that day. They were all happy moving around, seeing the vast space because they came from homes where probably there was not enough space for all of them to sleep together. Some had to be in the front yard or backyard or on the terrace. They were from such poor background, and here it is, land of plenty. Most children were happy, but one 11-year-old boy was sitting on the floor and crying continuously. And the parents said, "Don't cry, you will be very happy here. There are all facilities to play," and so on. It was attached, the child was attached to the known. In his village, in his little home, whatever he got to eat, whatever small surroundings, maybe his elder sister, one elder brother who had not come, he was already missing them. And also, these parents were going back next morning. He must have asked them, "You are going to stay with me?" And they said, "No, we are leaving tomorrow. We will leave you here." The 11-year-old child was inconsolable. And next day, they took the child back where the child was. The question, my friends, is, are we much different from that child? Are we not like that child to a great extent? We are very attached to our status. We are very attached to the facilities which we presently possess. We are very attached to what we are. And what is this which we are? But for thoughts. There is a certain bundle of thoughts in us. It's a summation of so many likes and dislikes. It's a repository of so many beliefs, so many opinions, and all of them are in the domain of the known. We are very attached to them. And if any of others disturbs those beliefs, says something contrary, we feel like fish out of water. That is how we live in constant fear of the known coming to an end, of losing the known, of having to change. We don't like to change. Keeping everything to which we are attached under our arms, we want maybe more facilities and more glamour, more glory. We have some fancy of what we need, but we are not clear about what we are presently, how emotionally tied to things we are. Oh, life goes away. Whole life just ebbs away as we are clinging to beliefs and some sense of belonging to something, somewhere. And we have one image to which we are attached, and we have one other image which is also our own creation. Therefore, it's ours. It's no different from the first image. But superficially, image one is what we are according to us, not the truth. Image two is what we should be, what we could be, what we should have been, and what we hope to be in a few years. If not soon, at least before we breathe our last. Ah, if I can be, there's an image. Maybe in terms of wealth, maybe in terms of health, maybe in terms of popularity, maybe in terms of how somebody will look at me, which she or he is not doing at present. Somebody is looking down at us, and we very much desire that that lady should look at me with respect, with envy, with some adoration. For that, I should become this. I should very soon become larger than life. So, what we should become is a certain image. Whether that man or that lady or that family or this group of people will see me differently if I become this thing is not guaranteed. But I imagine that if I become as per the second image, then people know my worth. So I desire. But then there is fear that may never happen. On the contrary, things may fizzle out. I may lose even whatever strength I have now. So, what I am now is something to which I am attached, though sometimes for some kind of political correctness or in order to pretend to be very humble, we say to friends, you know how weak I am in this, how ignorant I am. You know, I am from a little village. I don't know so much as all of you know, blah, blah, blah. We say all that just to impress them. There is an idiom in English or a way of saying, stoop to conquer. We stoop only to conquer. The hidden agenda is to get you to do things for me. So we pretend to be humble. I am so ignorant, but I am very attached to that ignorant I. I am so poor, unlike you who is so rich. Yeah, I say I am poor, but whatever I am is the dearest thing to me in the whole world. So the known is a bundle of images, bundle of pictures and beliefs and all that. That's my world, that's my life, that's me. And I'm attached to this me. Nothing else matters so much than this me. And this me itself is the world. I am the world. And therefore, let me say this and conclude, in an astonishing way of putting it, Krishnamurti says the fear is not about the unknown, it is about the known. It is about the known coming to an end. It is about you losing the known. For you are clinging to the known. You have become so dependent on the known. You don't want to go anywhere else. You don't want anything else. But you want to cling to the known. Either what you possess or what you hope to possess, what you plan to possess, what you plan to become, all of them are in you know, your knowledge, your personal knowledge. All of them are brought together by thought, and you are tremendously attached to thought. And that domain to which you are attached by nature is constantly changing. It's ephemeral, it's anitya, and you refuse to broaden your outlook and let go of your attachment to the anitya. Anitya is temporary. You want to stay with the anitya, but you talk about nitya, but you don't want to let go of the anitya. And once more and last time, this anitya in the present context is what thought has created and is constantly presenting before you, making you again and again getting trapped there. Fear is of this known coming to an end. Namaste.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. So interesting lecture by you. May I request Harshad sir to say something on this, please? Harshad sir, please unmute and say.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Swamiji. This topic, fear, as you say, is coming from thinking and thinking something which doesn't exist, like thinking about the future or losing the known. We get attached to things like our own house or city, and when we have to go outside our city for the first time, we begin to think what will happen in that place which I don't know. So this happened to my friend. He was very much interested in Krishnamurti, and he wanted to go to Mumbai to listen to Krishnamurti. And twice he booked his ticket to go to Mumbai from Bhavnagar. But the fear started coming, the fear of losing the known, that means the city, because he had lived in Bhavnagar, he had not traveled much. And so he could not go to Mumbai, could not listen to Krishnamurti. And then Krishnamurti passed away. And then my friend knew that I was at Rishi Valley School, and he wanted to visit Rishi Valley School. And he also booked his ticket several times, and several times he cancelled because of the fear of losing the place, the city Bhavnagar. And then one time he was about to cancel his ticket, but his friend said, "No, don't cancel, just go." So he came to Rishi Valley, and while traveling from Bhavnagar to Bangalore and then to Madanapalli, he had so many imaginations about that what this train will fall in the river and all kinds of unnecessary thinking, which was creating fear for him. So, if we want to be free from fear, then we have to observe this fear. But I think most of us are not able to observe this fear, because to observe the fear, one needs to be free from fear. Otherwise, we are so much involved in thinking that this thought doesn't come that this is not the real thing. What you are thinking about drowning in the river, and all these are imagination. And so, Krishnamurti's teachings are about freedom from the known. I think most people are afraid of losing the known. And I know even one lady, she was married to someone, and her husband was beating her. And this lady was working, earning money, and in spite of being beaten by the husband, she was afraid to leave the husband because she did not know whether she could live alone. And so, in spite of having many problems, and this happens to most people, that in spite of having problems with the known, we are not willing to let go of the known. And because the unknown creates many unnecessary thoughts about future, which doesn't exist. Only in thinking it exists. So same thing that when I left India for the first time in 1969 to go to America, and I was not afraid at the airport when the plane left Mumbai. But when the plane came to London and then Paris, the fear started coming because for the first time I was on my own. My English was not very good. I was not exposed to Western culture and so many problems. So fear started coming like that. Uh, but I would say that there are people like scientists, they are not happy with the known. Even the philosophers, mystics, they don't like to be with the known because in the known there is no beauty. It's everything very stale. So people who are spiritual and or scientists, they like to go into the unknown. Like scientists, when they invent something which is not known, and they work very hard and they know a lot about the subject, but the problem on which they are working is not known. So they give a lot of attention to the known and then they meditate and then some new idea comes and then they have to put it into mathematical equations, use computers, work out their idea, uh, talk with other scientists, and everything is accepted. Then they are invited to some conference where the scientist speaks about what he has invented, something new which was not known before. And the scientist gets a credit for it, a prestige uh, for that. But mystics, like people like Kabir or Krishnamurti or Buddha, they meditate. Even Arbindo spent last 25 years of his life in his room, and he was not even meeting people, very rarely, but he was going into a different state, which is not known to us. And he was writing poem like Savitri, which is a very mystical poem, and and he spent 25 years. And even when he was young and he was in the jail, Alipur jail, because he was interested in the freedom fighting movement, and he was arrested and put in the jail. And at that time, his mind was going very deep within himself, and some visions, some new thing started happening, and he left his his work in the politics of freedom fighting, and he went to Pondicherry, and there he meditated. So there was something new. Even in Krishnamurti's life, you find that he regards known as something very, very undesirable, like seeing the people, same people every day with the knowledge which we have acquired, with the images which we have. That is a very dull life. But when there is something new happens within our brain, our mind, then even when we look at the same tree or the same people, there is a newness. Every time is a fresh looking. And that is what interests people who are not afraid to l- lose the known. Actually, the known, they don't like it. They would like to move away from this shore, which is the known, and they want to go on the other side of the bank of the river, and the river is the life. So there is one song people sing in the assembly in Rishi Valley, and says, Chaya Chumbit Tatko Chod. That means this shore, there is nothing new, everything is known. You have to go on the other side to find something new, beautiful, and so on. And uh, surprisingly, Mirabai was very, very free, and she left the palace and she was dancing with sadhu, sannyasi. She had no fear of what people were talking about her. They said that she was mad. But in one of her bhajan, she wrote, Kinare Lagao. That means our life is like a boat tossing in the river and want to go to the known shore. Kinare Lagao. And then she says, Dhyan Dhyan ki Sangar Bande. That means uh, putting some string, which is like a meditation, which can save you from tossing and turning and drowning in the sansar, this life of society which we are living. And so uh, I wonder how Vivekanand and Swami Ramdev, people like that, went to America without caring any much, very little, and they knew nothing about it, and yet they were not afraid. And somebody asked Vivekanand on the ship, "Do you know anybody in America?" And Vivekanand said, "Yes." Then the person said, "Who?" Then Vivekanand said, "You." So Vivekanand did not know anybody, and yet he was not afraid. So it is a state of mind, a different state of mind, which is not afraid of losing the known, but it is more uh, waiting to experience something new. And that is what actually Vedanta is, end of knowledge. And Krishnamurti's book, Freedom from the Known. And that is the real freedom. And we get so much attached to our belief, to even our body. We are attached and we get attached to the mind. But this Vedanta says that you are not your body, you are not even your mind, but you are something beyond the mind, a true self or awareness, choiceless awareness or intelligence. So, um, I have many things to say, even like these astronauts. They go to the moon or a planet where nobody has gone before, but they are not afraid because they are looking forward to experience something new. And so I feel in that uh, sticking to the known it indicates that there is a fear. Uh, and moving away from the known is the real mystery and a creation, something new. And let me say, if anything, yes. So finally, I would say that the fear comes because we are thinking. If our mind is silent, not thinking, there is no fear. There is a beautiful state of awareness. But out of this thinking uh, comes this sense of I or me, and then what will happen to me when I go there? That creates fear. So many times, people, when they are traveling in the train and they are going to some place, say Himalayas, and they don't know where they are going to stay, then they keep on thinking about the future and they get tired. And then out of getting tired, one gets bored, and out of boredom, people start eating something. And like that, I have seen people when they have a long journey, travel, they get tired and eat and sleep and not really uh, be in the present, looking out from the window, looking at the mountains or the fields and like that. So, a real beauty, I think, um, is being aware of what is happening in the present, and even if any thoughts which arise, to be watching it without any judgment. And that is what Krishnaji's teachings are, wonderful teachings, to be living in the present, not thinking. Of course, one if one a person is free, can also imagine a beautiful imagine, and can write poems as Arvindo used to write many articles and poems. He was a poet, and Krishnaji was also writing poems and many articles. So there is um, nothing wrong with the thinking, but this sense of me coming from thinking, that creates the fear of losing me, my body, and the things which I possess. So, okay, I think I have said enough thing right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It was really interesting. Dinesh Waghmare, sir, please come forward and say.
Are you able to hear my voice clearly?
Yeah, very well, very well, very well. Sir.
Okay. So today's topic is very complex, and that is fear. Freedom. It is a fear of known coming to an end. This is a very complex subject because fear totally covers our life in one way. Fear is basic thing in our life because of insecurity. There are two types of fear: unknown and unknown, known and unknown. Out of which known fear is because one feels inadequate, incomplete, lack of power and energy, etc. JK says because of it, comparison and evolution also arises. Because you want to see somebody is better than you, then automatically you compare and go for the evaluation and etc. Also, craving to become causes fear. So there is a craving and it causes the fear. To be, to achieve, so to depend in relationship creates fear. Fear is also both inborn and acquired. So inborn is basically the, as Swamiji said, it is for everybody or for every kingdom actually, for animal kingdom as well as humans. So that is because of insecurity, basically. Now, the subject is ending of fear. Whether the fear can end, my views are no. But can one be free from it? My views are yes. One can be free from it. There is a difference. Ending of fear means fear will not come at all. But and freedom means fear will come, but you will be very easily in a position to tackle it. The potential of it or the intensity of it will be very low. So you will see it, observe it, and you can tackle it very easily. The craving to become causes fears to be to achieve, and so to depend engenders fear. This is JK. Now we'll see afterwards on this. The state of the non-fear is not negation. He is very clear on this. We are talking of ending. The state of non-fear is not negation. It is not opposite of fear. Not it is courage. In understanding the causes of fear, there is its cessation. Not the becoming courageous, for in all becoming there is a seed of fear. Dependence on things, on people, or on idea breeds fear. Dependence arises from ignorance, from the lack of self-knowledge, from inward poverty. Fear causes uncertainty of mind and heart. Fear is related to past, so to be free from fear, one must be free from self. Because self is created because there are memories and etc. and conditionings and which we are retained in our brain and mind, etc., which we have talked enough times. So one should be free from self. For this, we should go for self-knowing the thoughts and its ways. So he should understand the thought also and its ways also. Now, whether it can be ended, again I am repeating it, whether it can be ended, my views are no. But can one be free from it? My views are yes. Here also, one can be free from psychological fears, but not actual fears, which emerges because of external conditions. That external condition may be you are facing a tiger lion, or you may be in the other difficult situation, like in Ukraine or Gaza, etc. But fears like fear of exam, etc., are temporary. This fear will be directly proportional to the external stimulus, which causes the fear or the external pressures. Otherwise, also all fears because of technological conditions will remain, but one can tackle it as its intensity will be low. At last, it is to be noted that fresh energy is required for freedom, and freedom also means free access to intelligence. One has to go beyond and touch the other dimension. Here Krishnamurti also said that there should be passion for freedom, for the fear, but passion also means the energy. If you have got that passion already inborn, then it's okay. If it is not, then you have to understand it and go for it. If that fresh energy is available, then it will make you free. Thank you.
This is the first time you did not say the topic is interesting. Otherwise, all the topics were interesting. You never mentioned earlier that this topic is interesting. This topic is a complex. I used to enjoy fear in Dracula films and so many other things. I said you will be saying something about that also. But anyway, whatever you said is
There are so many people's individuality is there, and one can have such fears, one may not have such fears. Krishnamurti may not have such fears. It depends.
Yeah, but
Arvind,
he
he
was
was,
enjoying,
Harshad Parekh was talking about Arvind and this Krishnamurti.
but
Both conditions were totally different.
no, I
And
am
both
saying
have.
only, I am
Hmm.
saying only this. Krishnamurti also enjoyed the films. Number of times he used to read
But
books
once you
and
know that it is a horrible film and it is a film, then you may not be having fear.
no, but still,
Yes, today I
still
see
in
any
film,
horrible.
still, yeah, I have seen number of horrible pictures and I enjoy on the TV also. And Krishnamurti also enjoyed it. Anyway, let us talk of Prasad sir. Let us see. He feels interesting or something. Even in fearful conditions, I enjoy. Number of times, if you watch yourself, how you are taking this, your attitude brings it. If your attitude is different, your response comes from attitude. If your attitude is strong, then your response will be not that way. Okay. Anyway, let Prasad sir say first. Please
Sir,
go ahead.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Sir, here the topic is fear of losing the known. Fear of losing the known. I think the topic is not about our so many fears which we may have, like I may lose my job, or in the dark if I am going, I may be afraid of a ghost. It is not all such fears. I may become bankrupt in my business. All these things. I may lose my girlfriend. The topic is not about all such fears. Some of those fears we can enjoy, as Jain Sahib is saying. If there is a thriller, yes, we enjoy the fear. That is not what we are talking about here in this topic, to my impression. Fear of losing the known. It is connected with death. This topic is connected with death. Death is ending of everything, ending of the known, entire known. And why are we attached? Why are we afraid of death? Krishnamurti says that is because we are afraid of losing the known, not because we are afraid of the unknown. We don't know what the unknown is. Because we don't know the unknown, we can't be afraid of it. But fear of losing the known. Yes, in old age, like I am old, we fear death. And that is because we are attached to the known. We are attached to life. And what are those things? We may be attached to property, our possessions. All those possessions will not come with us. So we are afraid of that. Possessions, our property, our knowledge. We have gathered so much knowledge. All that will not come with us. It will become dust. Your relationships, you are attached to your children, to your wife, to your parents, all these people, your friends, everybody. You lose all those people. So you are afraid of that. How to live on a planet where you have no brother. Your brother has ceased. and you don't like to live on that planet, but you are afraid. So, your property, your relationships, nature. What about nature? You enjoy your flowers every day. No more flowers for you. that is that is what creates a kind of fear, for want of a better word. We say fear. We lose your sensations, all your sensations. If I am eating a nice dinner, I have a great sensation. I lose that. So, sir, it is fear of losing the known. Your knowledge, everything is going, and that is, but I think it is not simply losing the known. There is also fear of the unknown. Even though Krishnaji has said, we are more afraid of this known, losing the known, not of the unknown. But Harshadji has given the example of his friend. That friend reserved a ticket twice to go to Bombay, but then twice he cancelled it. That is because he is afraid of the unknown. He has never been to Bombay. So he is afraid of going to Bombay. That is afraid of being afraid of the unknown. So, then your body, you are attached to your body. You take care of it so much. So many medicines, so much exercise, so much swimming, all these things to nourish your body. And that body comes to an end because we know all that. So that is what is creating the fear. But then your sensations, your body, your mind, your knowledge, all these things are coming to an end, and that is the death is a great leveler. Death is the biggest socialist or communist or whatever. So now, how to face that fear? How to face that death? The only way to face death is to have not your specialized mind, your corner, small corner, but to go into the wider world. You must become a citizen of the world. You must daily think of the universe. What is your place in the universe? Unless we develop that cosmic mind, global mind, you will not escape fear. That is one thing. Then the other thing is death and love go together. When you are not attached, when you are not afraid, Krishnaji says, love, life, and death go together. That is that status or that state which we have to touch if possible. Without that love, we can't get rid of fear. Love is the only antidote for fear. So we must get out of ourselves because it is the self that creates fear. If we get out of the fear, then possibly there is a possibility of getting out of fear. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Shakti Singh. Shakti ji, please.
Krishnamurti somewhere has said that fear is an extraordinary jewel. Be with it, watch it. And the entity who is watching this fear and fear, he suggests that they are one. When I watch fear or any given feeling, usually there is a duality. I and fear, I and boredom. But it seems that this duality is created by thought, because fear brings so many thoughts. And when there is this watching, then perhaps that pure feeling of fear can be watched. And then one can explore whether that fear and I are two entities or the same. Thank you, sir.
Waghmare. Waghmare, please. Waghmare, sir, please. Come forward.
Voice is
Yeah.
reaching you.
Yeah, we are able to listen. You go on. But make it interesting.
This is very, this statement is itself very interesting. In my views, attachment is basically because of ignorance. But when we talk of fear, there are three things: sensitivity, dependence, and fear. So, one external condition, one may get fear, other may not get fear. So it depends on his sensitivity. So we have to tackle we have to see the basic cause. What is the external stimulus which excites that fear? So we have to understand the whole structure of fear. And when we try to understand whole structure of fear, then automatically it goes to thought and self-knowing. Self-knowing will tell you how much sensitive you are, or sensitive or sentimental. Sentimental means attachment, and there comes the ignorance. So let us not talk about this sentimental point, but see how sensitive you are, and what is your what is the outcome of your self-knowing. So if you go for the self-knowing, automatically there will be a fresh energy available to you, because all the energy, as Shakti ji was saying, that you observer is observed, means you fear and I fear and that thing which is causing fear, all are present. That is the case. When you face fear in this way, then there is definitely fear will be there. But when all the three are same, so this is not a actually case of understanding. This is actually happening. It is a case of happening, or it's a event rather. And at that time, you are vibrating on the energy level. The energy of fear as well as energy, fresh energy available to you. So that fresh energy will tackle the fear energy. So when you are vibrating on that level, then things are different. So Krishnamurti indirectly trying to awaken such energy in you, or such understanding. You may call it understanding, you may call it awakening of intelligence. He has gone up to the level of awakening of intelligence. So awakening of intelligence itself means the awakening of that energy which is beyond. And if that is available to you, access to that energy, then this problem will not be there, or you can be tackling the fear easily. So nothing will end, but you will be free to tackle it. Thank you.
Adeen, sir. Adeen, sir.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, the first thing I feel when we talk about fear is the first question that comes to my mind is the fear real or is it an imagination? That is the first thing. So, as Harshadji gave the example of his friend who was traveling outside his hometown for the first time and was imagining all sorts of things. So the fear arose from that imagination. A person outside who did not have that fear could see easily that that fear is not real, it is an imagination, it is an illusion of the mind. So that is the first thing we have to uh, ask ourselves. Is the fear real or it is an illusion? So if thought will generally, for thought, the person who's caught in that fear, it is very real. And if you want to question whether it is imagination, you will have to question the thought which is creating that fear. So there are people, for example, who might have everything, all is good in their life. They have a home to live, their health is not so bad, they don't have money problems, but they'll still keep on worrying about things. So that worry doesn't stop in the mind. If there is not one thing, they will outside, if even if everything is okay, inside they'll keep worrying about things. This might happen, that might happen. So why do they keep worrying? So it's just an imagination, it's an illusion. So I don't think so we can tackle this fear without questioning whether it is real or not. And when we question that, we are questioning the thought itself from which this fear arises. So the topic for today is fear of losing the known. But somehow I feel that the only thing which thought knows is the known. Yeah, it doesn't know anything else other than the known, including the habits which it has, the repetitive thoughts which arises. That is all the known. And when this repetitive thought arises, it is very real. It's like there is an experiencer and there is an experienced, and whatever that thought is projecting, it's very real for that person. So that is different from a mind which is watching, say, example, a film or thriller or something. They are just watching it, but the thought is not involved in it and doesn't, you know, think it is real, so it can still enjoy it. So another aspect is that I think even though thought is unreal, sensations are of course very real. So there are various feelings or sensations which come inside the body. So it might be that our breathing becomes very heavy. Our mouth, we becomes very dry when there is a sudden fear. So all these sensations are body reactions. So those of course will be there. So those will of course be there, and I am not denying those sensations. Those sensations will always be real. But I want to question the thought which imagines fear, whether it is real or not. So as long as we don't question that, fear will continue. I don't think so. There is a solution within that area of the known. If you want to keep continuing in the known, those thoughts will keep repeating because you cannot end the known by continuing in the known. Yeah, the known is trying to end the known. It's not possible. Just like any habit, you cannot end a habit by cultivating another habit. You just don't give it importance, then maybe it goes away. So yeah, that's the way also I see fear. If you see it is an illusion, if it is, you see it is not real, you don't give it importance, it will drop on its own. Even if it is arise, if even if it arises, your thought doesn't get involved in it. The more the thought gets involved in it, the more it will keep on, running. It doesn't stop. It keeps on running. The mind keeps on running. One thought after the other. There are multiple chains of thought, all originating from that one thought, and then finally the mind is trying to escape from it, and it might escape by doing something, watching TV, so that the thought doesn't come, or I don't know, anything else. So I don't think so we can talk about ending of fear or freedom from fear without going into deep questioning the place of thought or thinking in our life. If that thinking, if that worrying is creating fear, then why don't we question it? Why don't we drop it? Why do we keep worrying about it? So probably because the thought has accepted itself to be real, and it lives in this world of illusion which it feels it's real, and it continues to act in it. It doesn't stop acting in it or doing anything about it. So if fear arises, if a sensation arises, if I suddenly see some tiger in front of me, if thought is not acting, if I'm aware, then I might do the right movement. Of course, feelings will definitely come. Sensations will definitely come. If I see a snake, that will body sensations will happen. But why should thought get involved in it at all? So yeah. So as you said, that they it depends on also the attitude. If your attitude is worrying and you keep worrying about, that is your habit, you are going to get caught in it. If you don't give it importance, it won't affect you. You don't get caught in it. Yeah, that's my that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Adeen, sir. Thank you very much. Modak Chidanandji is there?
Yeah, I am here.
Yeah, very good, sir. Now,
So I
we are
wanted
very
to
much
say
happy that,
something.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
we
Dinesh
wanted,
Waghmare has.
he has asked the question, what is the topic? He has delivered a lecture twice, but still he wanted to know what is the topic.
Yeah,
I
let
am
me some
in
more
fear of
clarity.
the
Yeah.
thing. Hmm?
So it is the topic is more about understanding fear, and is the fear about what we know, or is the fear about what we do not know? Is a very valid question. I was going to anyhow say, and I think the two get connected. Somebody growing up in a village in India goes to a big city like Bombay or Hyderabad, gets some qualification. So what made him go from a village which he knows to a city, Hyderabad, which he doesn't? Then, not stopping there, he goes from Hyderabad to New York, studies in some university there. Again, how come he went there? He doesn't know United States, one may say. But so I would clarify, no, he may not know United States. The village boy may not know the Hyderabad city. But whatever little he has gathered from some, seniors in the school, seniors in the village, whatever he has gathered from others, not only the material benefits of the Hyderabad or New York or, big house and lot of money, good pay, etc., but see, on a psychological level, more than the physical comforts, this boy, or it could be girl also, is especially attached to him being recognized for his brightness, recognized for his smartness, for cleverness. And somebody would have told him, your cleverness will be more rewarded if you go to big city. There they will recognize you. Your cleverness will be more rewarded if you go to America. You will get lots of benefits, and then whole village will know who you are. Your family will be looked at with new eyes. Therefore, he is actually not going to an unknown Hyderabad or unknown New York, unknown foreign country. He is moving from the known to the known. In the village, when he scored highest and stood first in 10th standard exams, there was sort of applause. Even headmaster called him and said, "We are proud of you." So it went in. His ego, swelled. So in college in Hyderabad also, his ego got fattened. Now he sees, so the ego getting fattened, the ego getting, more and more strong, is the domain of the known. How he knows how it is so exciting to be praised as you are so bright. Then people say, if you go to New York and get a degree from for American university, then get a job there, more people will pat you on the back. That's how he goes on and on. Therefore, this ending of fear will be when his outlook itself changes. And if he is fortunate down the road in America or back in India, he will realize that more money, more fame, more name, and more recognition, more awards, all of them mean nothing unless he learns to love, unless he learns to understand other people as with equal eyes. So somewhere a spiritual luminary like Krishnamurti or someone comes into his life, then he realizes that my continuously chasing praise, chasing recognition, chasing or continuously trying to build another image where more people admire me or hold me in awe has led me actually to more conflict and more sorrow. He realizes it. Then there is a new beginning. And if he is very sincere, he begins to live the teachings. He actually abandons his attachment to the kind of image he has been created. Bright boy of the village, bright boy of the university in Hyderabad, bright boy of the university in USA, bright boy who at young age became CEO of an IT company, blah blah. He was attached. That is the known. So to answer Dineshji's question now, no, for a long time we do not even know where the thorn is pricking us. One day we realize the thorn is here. I am unduly attached to my looks or my talent or my fame, name, and I am going on investing in that without realizing it is causing me more fear. Then a U-turn takes place. The spirituality is true spirituality is when one is no more chasing, no more acquiring. One is only more ready to give and share and serve. So this understanding where fear arises and how we cling to our own image of the present or what we want to become, either way, is a major milestone in a radical transformation. In the so-called radical transformation, a human being completely lets go of this image consciousness. She or he lives in the present with what is and so on. Thank you.
My daughter went to America and wrote a letter to me. This is a very small village. I replied back, the moment you stepped in, it is bigger than New York. Why you consider this way? Now let Prasad sir say something. Prasad sir.
Pradeep sir has unmuted himself, so let Pradeep sir say something.
Oh, sorry. Now let him read 6 lines first. Time is increased by 10 minutes.
Oh.
So you can read 6 lines which you could not previously read.
Is it, I have to say something?
Yeah, definitely, sir.
Okay.
We have increased the time.
My thing was very clear because the topic was how fear will end.
Yeah.
So, Harshadji has covered a lot about this by clearly seeing, clear perception only. This fear can end because when we go against reality, you see that Swamiji talked about Anitya. So when we know, when we can see reality, then there is no fear. And there is a small story, Zen story, where he says that this shall also pass. Let anything come, this shall also pass. So, but I didn't understand Dinesh used two words. Actual fear is different and psychological fear is different. Let him say a little more about these things when he is dividing fear into actual and psychological. Another thing he has used is actual energy tackling energy of fear. So again, a duality, again, a division has been created. And who creates and where is that division? We all can understand about it. As long as there is a duality of any nature, the question Adeen was talking about, questioning this thing. Question comes only afterwards, as the aftermath. When you are in fear, there is no thinking, but you are just fear only. You see, then when it subsides somehow, then you think about it, what happened, and how to avoid this in future. That's all simple. These are very simple things. But Dineshji, let him, if he can clarify these two things, actual fear and psychological, and actual energy tackling energy of fear, and who is tackling what, and who is asking the question, the third one, and when, and the time factor involved in it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Waghmare sir, as you have praised me, I have increased the time, so I give you time. Please speak on this, as desired by Pradeep ji.
See, Mr. Pradeep, you will observe that right now you don't have any fear. So what sort of energy you are having? What sort of feelings you are having? You are having a feeling of well-being. So whatever feelings comes to you, it is basically a conversion of energy. This is what my experience is. Or whatever mood changes are there, it is a conversion of energy. Similarly, when fear rises, it is a conversion of energy. But if your well-being energy is more, you are having a better reservoir of well-being energy, then you can tackle that fear in a confident way. Say, for example, you have to spend 1,000 rupees and your bank balance is in lakhs. You can pay 1,000 rupees very easily. So this is the thing. If you are well, what happens because of ignorance, all your energy gets stuck up and becomes very limited. And the Krishnamurti uses the word, it moves in grooves of mind. So thought moves in a grooves. Why he has to say that? Thought is just a carrier of energy. You can understand. We can understand that. So when you are having a more fresh energy, you can very well tackle that energy. Even pain also you can very well tackle. Say for example, a young boy, he can tackle pain in a better way, whereas an old man, if he has the same amount of pain, he will be having problems. That's why we say that the older men are more sensitive to such a chikungunya or any other disease, or for that example. So I think this answers your question.
No, it doesn't answer my question. My question was, at that moment, there is only, when you are in fear, there is a depletion of energy, there is a scarcity of energy. You see, but when otherwise, when everything, the whole energy, whatever you may say, I don't know about the whole energy, but energy, when available, when you are not in fear. So that is the state, but at that time, it is that state only. It's not that two are there at a time.
Listen,
it is
we
transformation of energy you are talking about. Then you said,
we have to see.
Just listen to actual energy tackling energy of fear. You see, this also you have divided. Who has divided this?
Sir, you have to understand, in non-duality, there is no division. But still you can observe the duality. It is just like water mixed in milk. Say, for example, a girl is having an exam fear. But that doesn't mean she has lost her control totally. She is also carrying that fear, and still she is going to your chappan or other dukan or some place where she can have a chat, and she can chat with her friends also on computer and all that. So both things are simultaneously running.
No,
Both
sir.
programs are simultaneously running in her mind.
When you are talking
sir.
about these two things,
Sir.
neither you are in fear nor you are in any other state. You are
No, sorry.
only that state of speaking. You want to speak something. You want to express something.
No,
About
my
fear.
experience, my own experience, I am telling
Right
you,
now,
sir. Now, after so many years of this thing,
these are thoughts.
now I
These
am
are
having.
thoughts. Now these are thoughts.
No, these are not thoughts, sir. Actual
Of course.
energy. Well, feeling. Thought is not only feeling.
Feeling at
and
that
emotion.
time when fear is there is feeling of fear.
Yes.
And then it is neither fear or feeling separate. It is something that you are in the grip.
Sir, if you go for the right, this thing, what Krishnamurti has said or any other saint has said, then you will have that state where you can have both simultaneously.
This also is imagination.
the non-duality.
Happen, then that will happen.
Sir,
Imagination again.
Pradeep sir and Dinesh sir, let us stop discussion here and let Prasad sir say something. So the time may be there.
Sir, I will take only 1 minute.
Yes, sir.
I will take only 1 minute. For me, this topic is only with reference to death. Because there is no question of losing the known. I won't lose the known if I am not dying. I lose the known only at the time of death, not before. Nothing will make me lose the known. That is one thing. Second thing, we're afraid of the unknown also because in spite of all the promises given, there is no certainty about those promises, like a resurrection, reincarnation, etc. These are all promises given. These are all consolatory devices. Man finds solace in these concepts, but there is no certainty about them. And so, even though we adhere to those beliefs, we don't feel much comfort in that. So there is still fear. Fear of the known, fear of the unknown. Thank you, sir. That is all. Thank you,
we call this, Prasadji, can we call this unknown, so-called unknown fear, the time factor? How long it will sustain? How long will I have this? When I see all that, so that time, when you include time in this, then it becomes psychological, and then it is, as you say, it is from the unknown. Unknown is time. Maybe. This is, no, I am not concluding, but this is what I feel.
Sir, suppose one is having a fear of dog, a particular dog. And owner of dog takes him to the dog.
Verma sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
Verma sir and Waghmare sir and everybody participating. The time has now 7:40.
Time.
So time and what you people are saying, unknown and known, all that has to come and end because we have to end the meeting.
Thank
you.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for participating. And let us be open. Why this existential fear? And into this existential fear, something psychological creeps in. Let us be open on that. Right, sir. Thanks
I
all.
agree, sir. I agree. Thank you.
Thanks all for participation.
Thank you.